Recording.
Soundstripe. Soundstripe.
I'm dancing.
That's the idea.
Yeah, it's good vibe music. I like it too.
All right. Welcome to Success Paradigms. My name is Emilio Garcia, and as always, kind of in the shadows today, but we have Andrew Barker, my co-host.
Happy to be here.
Today we
Hey,
have
Andrew.
very
Hi,
special guest.
Josie.
It's been a couple of months in the doing. It's been one of those that we set up times and something happened. I'm very excited about this one because it's been a challenge to get all the schedules together, but we finally have Ms. Josie Orozco from the U.S. Mexico Chamber of Commerce. She's the executive director for the Western chapter. I hope I said all that correctly. It's a mouthful. But anyway, hey Josie, how are you?
I'm fine. How are y'all doing?
I'm doing pretty
Good,
good, thank
good.
you. Staying above water with all this stuff.
That I know.
And trying to keep warm because apparently the cold weather is coming again. So
Yeah.
anyway, so let's start from the beginning. Where are you from? Obviously, you're in the U.S. Mexico Chamber, so I'm guessing you have Mexican roots. I don't know if you're originally from Mexico or first generation, or tell us a little bit about that.
That's a very good question. Actually, my family goes back to 1832 and back. We were here. Our family was here before it was Texas.
Oh wow!
At that time, it was Tejas. And my father's family originally hailed from Spain. My mother's family was from Mexico. And so my great grandmother was born in Tejas. My great great grandmother was born in Tejas. And so was because she died like in her late 80s. And that was like about 50 years ago.
Wow.
And so my grandmother was from Waco, the other one from San Antonio. And so our family just goes way, way back. One of my great, great, great grandfather was Francisco Bayard of Bexar County.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have a lot of roots here naturally, and we're all born and raised here. All my family is born and raised here, and on my mother's side, they were from the Magarit near Monterrey, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They're from that area, and in our family we have a lot of mixture. I have brothers that are blue-eyed, green-eyed, hazel. That comes from some of the Germans, some of the Spaniard. I mean, we just have some
Wow.
mixture in there. I'm the only one that looks Latina. So I'm the dark one.
See, Andrew,
I don't know about you.
it took us a while to have a guest that was originally from Texas, but this one goes back.
Yeah,
So way back.
yeah. I think, Josie, you may have said to me when we met many, many years ago that
Yeah.
the border crossed your family. Like your family never moved. It was
No,
that
it
the
never
map
did.
moved.
You know, one day I was speaking and at a Republican women's convention, and we had some hecklers. And there was this man who just didn't like the fact that I was speaking because I was a Latina. And he says, well, what I want to know is, are you from here? And I stopped what I was doing and I said, ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman really wants to know where I'm from. So I'm going to start right now. I just disregarded my business talk. And so I went right up to him. And so I said, I'm going to answer that question. And I tell him the story about my family. He goes, the question really is, where are you from? Because he said, you know, when are some of these people moving back? And I go, well, no, the question really is, when are y'all moving? Because we were here first. And everybody just dropped their jaw and they were like, oh my God. And I go, okay, everybody, I was just joking. All right, so now I'm going to go back to my talk. But that stopped my heckler. I mean, dead tracks, just stopped him completely because he couldn't believe that I had said that to him. But I couldn't believe he was saying that to me, you know.
Right. Well,
So
there's no coming
I'm very
back
proud
now.
of the fact that I'm a Latina. I'm very proud of the fact that I have Mexican blood and Spaniard blood, German blood, English. I had a great 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 grandfather. His name was Francisco Monroe, and that was
Oh
my
yeah,
one of my
that's not fun.
I know, I know.
Wow.
One of my aunts did a study of our family and was just finding all kinds of information. So, I mean, I'm happy to be who I am. And I say all the time to all the people that are here, that live here, you need to learn Spanish. And then those that are come over here, I tell them you need to learn English. Because,
Right.
you know, how
I'd
are you
love to
going to know
see
you're right?
your ancestry report. That thing's funny.
There's a lot. And that's just a little bit of the story, you know.
Okay, so the whole family from Texas,
Right.
and you said some people were from San Antonio and different places, but you were always born and raised in the Dallas.
Yes, my mother was born and raised here, and I was born and raised here.
Okay,
I at Methodist Hospital, and all my brothers and sisters were all born there, and there were
Wow.
6 of us. You know, so we all went to the same schools. We all graduated from the same schools, and everybody went their way. You know, to further their education in whichever direction they wanted to go. So, well, you know, I'm going to turn the tables on you guys a little bit. What I want to know is, what made you think about doing a podcast? What's the reason for your podcast?
we basically were talking. Andrew and I have known each other for a few years. I met him before he moved up here when he was.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to jump
out.
and interrupt for the
Go ahead.
audience. I'm going to let you answer the question because you're the better person to answer it. But for the audience, both Emilio and Josie I met before we lived here in Dallas, DFW. We've been here about 5 years. So Josie I had connected with because I was a member of the U.S.-Mexico Chamber back in Mexico City. Emilio and I connected because at that point in time, we were both members of the Empresarios Mexicanos, no?
Right.
So both of you, again, thank you, because here we are 7 years later, and we're happily loving life here in Dallas.
And we're
And
still friends.
both of you seriously contributed to sort of helping me, you know, helping us find a path here. So just wanted to share that with the audience. And I don't think either of you knew the other side of it from the other participant on the call. So
Did not.
delightful. And with that, I'll let you answer the question, Emilio. Pardon me.
Well, basically the answer was we just enjoyed chatting, and I enjoyed giving him a hard time, and this was a way to do it publicly.
Uh-huh.
But also, the name of the show says it all, right? So we called it Success Paradigms because I come from the belief that everyone can be successful in many different ways,
I
right?
agree.
And one of my main examples is my wife. My wife's a teacher. That's all she likes. That's all she wants to be.
What
She's got
what
different-
kind of teaching? What type of teacher?
So she teaches Spanish now at high school
Great.
in Frisco ISD. She is an educational psychologist by trade, but when we moved up to the U.S., they told her she had to go back and study 75% of the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Sure.
And she was, I think it was like 6 or 7 months pregnant. So that was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. So she started getting involved when the kids started going to school.
Great.
They went to a Montessori school, and she decided to go into a Montessori school. And we've been lucky that she's applied. So we've put the kids in different schools through their lifetime. And luckily, every single school we've put them in, she has applied and gotten a job there. So
Great.
she started teaching Spanish about 8 years ago, I think, something like that, at a charter school. And then my kids moved to the high school, to the public high school here in Frisco, and she decided to apply, and she got the job. But she's one of my main examples of someone that, in my point of view, is a tremendous success because she's doing what she's passionate about, and she's extremely good at it.
And you know, it's not a job if you are passionate about something. You're going to be successful regardless. And she's
Yeah.
going to help a lot of children in doing that. I'm so glad that she's doing that. As I said before, I tell everybody that doesn't know Spanish, you need to learn it. You know, I even tell my granddaughters, I tell them it's not enough to learn 2 languages. You really need to learn 3. You need to learn another language outside of what you're learning today. You know, it's not enough.
Yeah. So I kind of it. I don't want to say it this way, but I didn't want it to be. I've been in different groups where I've seen everything like that,
Yeah.
the success and stuff like that. And I'm not saying any good or bad or indifferent, but like Asociación de Empresarios Mexicanos, I was with them for a number of years. And if you weren't one of the biggest business people that has been around for 30 some years, there was no recognition. I mean,
That's so
and
sad because when we talk about success, many people look at success as you've got to make a lot of money. That's not really success. Real success is leaving a great legacy behind.
exactly.
Real success is helping people.
Yep.
And this is why I do what I do. It's certainly not about the money because there's hardly any money there. But it's something that it allowed me now in my latter years when I could dedicate my time and energy to helping people. And that's really what it's about is who can I help? If I can help a person, a country, a company, anybody, if I can help them, I feel so satisfied that I could do that. And I find myself constantly doing that, especially in today's in today's area of what is going on at COVID. I'm relating to COVID right now. We are never busier than now because so many people need help in so many different ways.
Yeah.
It's not always about the money. It's, can you help find a job for someone? Can you help in a deportation hearing? Can you help internationally? So, I mean, if you don't enjoy what you do, you really need to step out of it, reevaluate where you are, and think about, why am I really here? What do I
Yeah.
really enjoy?
And
Because
the time
those are
goes
the things.
fast, right? So,
Life is but a whisper.
you
And my feeling about that is you better give everything 150% personally, and whether you're at your job or you're spiritually bound, any of those areas, any and all those areas, give it everything you've got because you don't have that much time here on this earth. You really don't.
Yeah, it's not a rehearsal. There's no second pass
yeah.
at this thing.
Well, Josie, you're a dynamo since I met you via phone back in Mexico City. So you practice it, and your energy is contagious. The way you help people and bring
Thank
them
you.
together.
Thank you
So,
very much.
So long answer short. That's the reason why
but I think sometimes the long answer is necessary because we think the same thing. I mean, nothing against financial success, but that's one facet of life, right? Um, and some of our other, guests have talked about how at certain points, by any monetary estimation, they were not successful.
Yeah.
It's by doing these other things right that they, that can come and go.
Yep.
So we're talking about success in as you're saying, Josie, and as Emilio's saying, the human aspect of success. So it's not just a number on a financial statement or in a bank account or a nice car or whatever, what have you. It's overcoming health challenges. It's spiritual health. It's
Yeah.
all of these other facets of life that are at times more important, quite and significantly more important than financial. But this is why we like to have a diverse group of people we talk to. So we're learning through all of this as well.
Oftentimes everyone asks, well, I wonder why I'm really here. Well, God has given many of us gifts, and we need to utilize those gifts effectively, and keeping that human element that you're talking about. Because if we don't, we're going to lose them. So we've got to consistently think about, what can I do? What is my real role? Why am I really here? Well, we're really here to help other people. We really are. If we do that successfully, that's great. But one of the things to remember as we grow up and as we go up that ladder is humility. This is something I have always taught my son, is, and he is high up on the ladder, and God has given him a tremendous amount of success. And I'm proud of that success, but I'm prouder that he walks with the hand of God, because we need to have that. And humility is something that I have met many presidents of the United States and of Mexico. And to me, one of the most precious things is, are they giving, and do they still have humility at the level that they're at? And I have met many, many people that are rich and high level, that are truly rich, that are really humble. And yet I have many that are at a high level, but not really humble. And
Right.
so this is something in business that we should always remember, that we are just a drop in the ocean. We are. So we have to continue to think about who we are and how can I help someone. I just don't think that's stressed enough in business today, because it does get down to the money piece of it so many times. And
Mhm.
in what I do, I always forget about me, and I always forget about what I have to do for myself, when it comes to taking care of business personally, and within the chamber that reverts back to me, because I find myself consistently being on that other side and seeing what can I do for other people.
Yeah, I mean, I've known you for, we've known each other for a while, and the term servant leader has become so used and abused.
Yeah,
Um, you're one of the people that, in my mind, comes to mind as a servant leader.
thank you.
Um, and there are other great leaders out there, but I wouldn't call them servant leaders, though they might put it on their LinkedIn page. They're effective, they're fantastic, but they're not servant leaders. Um, I mean, you've just said it, and I'm just summarizing it the way I've noticed it. But if I have to think of servant leaders, it's only a handful, and you're truly one of them.
What's funny is that I'm not on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook. I'm not on any of that. And because I look at myself as in the binational members that we have, that are $10,000 members, regional board members that we have that are $2,500 leaders, and members. Um, I want to help them. I want to give them praise. I want them to get the exposure. It is very rare that I ever do anything like this. I won't even do interviews. I always say, no, 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 I want my person there. When I'm asked to go on a big expo to China or whatever, no, I want to send my people. They can go for me, because they're the ones that really need it right now. I don't need that exposure.
Hmm.
So it is rare that I open up like this to talk
Well,
to
thank you.
anyone, Emilio and Andrew, but it's because of Andrew and the friendship that we have that I'm here today. So how can I help you guys? What can I do for
Appreciate
you?
it.
That
So
is
let's
what
talk
I
a little
always
bit
say.
more about what's going on in the world. Tell us a little bit about the USMCA agreement. What's going on with that one?
One of the things that we're doing is we have created task forces. Alsaponte, our leader, he's a general, a two-star general from NAM, and he's a Latino. Um, he looked at this USMCA very closely because he was with it before it was NAFTA. Him and 12 presidents of our chamber started working on this. It was called, I think, the North American Agreement at that time. And they were working with Reagan and other presidents along the way to create this. They were working with the Prime Minister of Canada and, of course, the President of Mexico, which at that time was Salinas de Gortari. And he's a brilliant man. So they all worked together, helped put together NAFTA, and presented it onto the presidency so it could start moving. And it did, and it took off. Now, USMCA is the replacement of that. USMCA stands for United States, Mexico, Canada Agreement. And so we formed the task forces because although it's been launched, and AMLO, Trump, and Canada have agreed to it, they've all agreed, but there are still kinks in the armor. So what we have to do is find them. So we did, he put together 14 task forces. I'm 3 of those 14. And so my chapter went out and started talking to people in supply chain management, um, and people in telecom, in IT, to understand what are some issues that we need to think about, what are the problems and what are the solutions. Because many times what happens is you have all these people in the cabinet, in committees in Washington, but because they've never really done the actual job of being in customs or supply chain, they don't really know what the problems are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's people like us that go to the grassroots of it all. And we find out, like right now, Andrew, as you know, $1.6 billion are being detained at the border because it's not considered what they call essential business.
Right.
And that's
That's
important.
crazy.
Yeah, it's a sample. So the main thing is we have to look at that very carefully and say, okay, what can we do to change it? It's got to become essential. How is that going to happen? Matter of fact, we're having a meeting tomorrow, an international meeting, with all of our chapters together. And we had to do a report for each chapter. So I did a report. I did a 4-page report. We did over 21 questionnaires. That may not sound like a lot, but it's critical because we went to the real people that are involved in this every day, day in and day out. Customs people, transport people, 4PLs, and so on and so on, to find out what's going on in that specific arena. And so, we put together the findings. That's already done. And so now we're moving forward with it. It'll be presented in our meeting tomorrow, and then it'll be presented to Washington, because they need to see what are the issues and what can we do to help to get that done. Well, what does that mean? That means billions of dollars for Mexico. That means millions of jobs for Mexico, because the idea is to move companies out of China. So now there's another project, if I may continue.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Please do.
Mexico, the new China. I came up with that slogan back in February of 2019, before COVID ever hit. And I was working with Jeff Cartwright, one of my regional board members, who is also an international consultant and advisor. A very dedicated individual, very professional. And we were sitting and we're just talking back and forth what he was doing, what I'd like to do, how I could help him. And so I came up with that slogan because he wanted to do a conference. So I said, great, here's what we'll call it. And then we invited people from Mexico to come to, the governor's office from Mexico to come and hear this from the state of Durango. And it took off. So now what we're doing is, because the Trump administration charged over $250 billion of tariffs to China.
Mm-hmm.
So what that meant was a 30% increase to the companies in the United States. Well, we did a pilot program to see, is this true? We did a pilot program. It was worth maybe 18 mil. And in that pilot program, I found a glass company in Mexico. We did a study compared to what he was paying, what he was doing, and we found out that it was cheaper to do business with Mexico. Well, what does that mean? Great.
Yeah.
Now we can proceed more jobs. More importantly, from an economical standpoint, the United States businessman now can save 30% because it's costing him that and more. And the beauty of doing business in Mexico is they don't go around copying your patents.
Right.
They don't go around going around you and doing business with people that you're already doing business with, that's a big deal. Mexico has never done that.
Or selling you one product and packaging a different one. Dude, I'm
That
serious.
as well.
I had that issue happen in the past. Hold on, Josie's frozen. Oh, there you kind of froze for a second.
What?
So I was saying them selling you a product and actually sending a different one. A few years ago, I actually had an import business from China to Latin America.
Uh-huh.
And one of the products that we were providing it was in Peru. It was seamless pipes. which
Yes.
are simless because they're for a lot more pressure. So gas and stuff like that, you
Right.
need them to be simless because if they have been um,
Like welded or joined
welded
together.
together, when they have high pressure, they'll split. So we actually did the order. We saw the samples
Yes.
before they loaded them on the trucks. We had someone there inspecting them. And when the container got down to Peru, we opened it. The first couple of them were okay, but all the rest were,
Yeah, Emilio, I never heard this case study from you before.
oh,
Interesting.
it was not a case study. It was a
No, that was real business.
it
Well,
was a painful experience.
the learning point here,
Yeah.
people,
You know,
is yeah, buyer beware.
Oh yeah.
yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing, the lack of quality certainly was found in a lot of products. And so this is why we did the pilot program with Mexico, because we wanted to see was the quality the same consistently. And that's key. And that gets back to your point, Emilio. Excuse me, I have allergies. So I don't want to sneeze, so I'm trying to keep from sneezing. But this is only just some of what we do. I also do trade missions with our chamber internationally. And so sometimes we'll work with other countries. I work with Colombia, I've worked with Turkey, of course, and I've worked with China immensely. And I have very good relationships with those people. I've had the General of the People's Republic come here to meet with me. We got a delegation of 10 coming from China. And I had to meet with our government here. And then I took them to the border in El Paso. And we met with the dignitaries from Mexico because they wanted to study the frontera to see how different was it from them. You know, we think we have problems. Let me just tell you, China is so huge that they have over 23 languages that are spoken with all of their boundaries. We only have one language. So we have it a lot easier than they do. So they were just trying to see, you know, what can we do to make, you know, our borders be better. So we did that. We do trade missions of business in regards to taking a delegation from here, which I took Jeff on a delegation, Andrew. There were 10 of us. We went over to Mexico, to Coahuila and Durango. And I've done delegation trips for 16 years and to different cities in Mexico because we have 9 offices in Mexico, from Mexico City to Veracruz, to
Yeah, that's
Puebla, to
important
Guadalajara,
to mention. I'm glad you
Querétaro.
mentioned that. I forgot it was that many.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my first experience
So,
with
you know,
the US,
and we worked through the Mexico chamber, the Mexico City chamber when I met you.
Right,
So
right,
anyway,
right.
we work as a team. We're not individual. So if I want to do a trade mission, I can call them and say, here are the things that we need to have done. I want the government to help us in regards to this. We're taking people who are looking at doing business in your particular area. These are the category of the industries. We want to set up to meet with Copermex, Canaco, Canacintra, Canetti, and so on and so on, all the different chambers. And right now, we did a meeting on Thursday with Copermex and Canacintra on the line, their presidents. So I work with the presidents of the different chambers of Mexico, and we're offering them the opportunity right now. There's over 100 products that they can go for. And actually, there's 500 products that we really need to look at to move out of China, that the government of the United States would love to move out of China and into Mexico. Because why? We're following that USMCA agreement between the North American countries, and we're doing that. We're following it to the T. So, like I say, these are just some of the very few projects that I'm mentioning because there are always many projects going on.
so along with that, it kind of piggybacks on the next one, is how are the import tariffs going to be affected? Because again, Andrew, if you want another story about my import business.
Yeah, I do. I haven't heard these before.
Oh, it was a great business. We actually had a container of spray paint in the middle of the ocean, and it was also going to Peru, and Peru decided to change the import tariff on spray paints from 0% to, I think it was like 14 or 16%.
So there goes
We
all your
already
profit.
had purchase orders and everything, and the thing was in the middle of the ocean. I'm like, that's so. How do you see any of that kind of affecting? I mean, it's obviously not going to spend 45 days in the ocean, so that's that's an advantage.
It's
It's
a big
cross,
advantage.
it crosses border within a couple of days. But how do you see the tariffs going from Mexico and the U.S.?
I don't think that there's going to be much change, quite frankly. Um, and especially now with Biden going in, Biden is going to do everything he can to make sure that business continues to flow. He has consistently said that, and he means what he says in terms of that. And just to give you an idea, one of the first things that he's working on is DACA, the Dreamers. He is going to reinstitute DACA strongly. If nothing else, but that's one of the first things, that's one of his priorities walking in, is to do that. And he has already stated that. And he certainly wants the business to continue to go. Besides that, the USMCA agreement has already been signed. That really can't be changed because it's already signed, agreed to, and moving on. And he wants to work with AMLO, and he's already made, I think he has already reached out to AMLO in regards to this, to talk with him. I don't think that AMLO has responded yet in regards to it.
Yeah, and just so the viewers and listeners know, AMLO's the sort of abbreviation or nickname which is accepted for the president of Mexico.
Thank you. Andres
Some of our
Manuel,
viewers and listeners may not know.
and his name is Andres Lopez.
His name is so complex, we all call him AMLO, and he's fine with it.
That's fine. It's Andres AMLO, okay. Morena, I think.
Andres Manuel López Obrador.
Manuel López Obrador, okay. So that's why I say AMLO.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, everybody does. Even the Mexican press calls him AMLO.
Yeah. So the president of Mexico has been contacted. And so Biden is looking forward to help in any way. And one of the other things that I saw in regards to your question, how's it going to affect? I'm going to get to that answer in just a moment. But just to let the viewers know that he also has made a concerted effort and has stated that he is going to do everything he can to help place the children that are here without their parents back to their parents. They're going to make a concerted effort to find those parents. And I think there's over 500, Andrew, if I'm not mistaken, that are there.
Oh, I know. Yeah, there's a lot. It's a big number.
So that's the humanistic side. So let's get to the business side. He realizes and recognizes that if we have a cold, Mexico has pneumonia. So we've got to do everything we can to work together in harmony. And he has reached out already, and many of the presidents of other countries have already contacted him to let him know that they're there to support him 100%. And so I don't think we're going to see any major changes in regards to the USMCA agreement. I think there's even going to be more work done towards helping in regards to what we're looking at. As I stated, there's over 500 products that are sitting there that the United States would love to move out of China. So let's reflect back on China just a minute. Not only did the administration of Trump charge them $250 billion. In May of 2019, Mnuchin went to a meeting in Shanghai to meet with China. And in that meeting, Trump had told him if they don't come to the table, put more on it in tariffs. So he did. So now you're going to be seeing, if you haven't seen yet, 25% on top of the 250 billion in tariffs to China. So And see, all of these we're going to be going in motion, little by little, adding more, adding more, adding more. So this is why, and the many of the United States business companies are trying to get out of China. Vietnam is full, Taiwan is pretty full, but Mexico, it's their time.
Mhm.
It's their time to shine and step up to the plate. They've got about 2 or 3 years
Yeah.
to get that in motion, because if not, your other Latin American countries are going to do it, or other countries.
Yeah.
So this is why we've got to work so hard right now to get that move going. Let's get it going. And this is why I did that Zoom meeting with the different chambers, to let them know what opportunities are out there, what we need to step up to, and so that they can see. And we're going to be doing seminars, Emilio and Andrew, on an ongoing basis to help them. Right now, we're in the very beginning stages of this. The next one's going to be about U.S. business immigration, the different ways that they come into the United States legitimately to start business or be a distributor, whatever it is that they want to do. And we will bring in a panel of attorneys to address that. We just did United States-Mexico business planning. And we brought in an economist to let them know what they needed to do, a banker, and then we brought in Jeff and Andrew to come and speak to talk about those
Yeah, it was
business
fun.
opportunities. You know,
Mhm.
this is what I see you doing. Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
it was
yes,
fun.
yes.
It was delightful.
You should
That
have
was
invited
fun, and I enjoyed it. And you did a short version, because we're going to do this again, but to a bigger group. That was a big group we had
I
anyway.
promise I won't hackle. Come on.
But now, what did you say, Emilio?
I told him I promise I won't hackle.
Oh,
You
okay.
didn't invite me. No, actually, that's great. And since we're in that,
No, Emilio, I promised to invite you to the next one. This one was by invitation only. It was a
that's fine.
closed, it wasn't
Uh,
open, it was a closed group, but
Josie, if you ever need, and if I can help in anything, I'm on the financial education side, personal finance.
Like what?
That's what I do. I'm a certified financial educator with a nonprofit organization. I'm
the
also a
Heartland Group,
financial
right?
advisor, but
What's
sorry.
the name of the group? Can you
Uh,
say?
so the Heartland Institute of
Yeah,
Financial
sorry,
Education
Heartland Institute.
is where I'm certified as an instructor. It's a certification that's actually recognized by FINRA as well.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm also a financial advisor and insurance and all that stuff.
How long have you been doing this?
I've been fully licensed for about 16 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
He has a little bit of knowledge, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
It takes a while to get up there, so.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. You know, I step out of high pressure positions because I was with Xerox, and then I was with Kraft, Philip Morris, and then with US Foods as their director of marketing. Ran about $179 million budget. And so for me, it was such a pleasure to jump out of that and going to what I do, because I had said,
Yeah.
I've come up to here with corporate America,
Right.
and I really want to do something, and always loved the international piece. And so what I had done is I had jumped into, for a friend of mine, he needed help. He wanted to do an executive recruiting. So I helped him with that. And, but I was, then I started doing the international consulting. And I worked with Guillermo Sahagon, Marta Sahagon's brother, Vincent Fox's brother-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing international business plans and working with them and consulting them in the food industry. And so I did that because I always loved international. And then the chamber came to me and recruited me, and it was just right up my alley. This is something that I truly enjoy. So I decided to do that. And it's just been very fulfilling, and it's been a lot of fun for me. It really has.
Very cool. Very cool.
Fantastic.
So
Fantastic.
what else do you think is coming? We already talked about the tariffs and all that stuff.
Mhm.
anything you can give people pointers into what's coming? What do you see coming? Uh, Beside the status quo, well, or the not too many changes on the tariffs and stuff like that, what industries would you say are the first ones that are going to be moving out of China back into
Hmm.
Mexico?
Okay, the ones that I see right now, it's going to be let's just say if you can create a little motor. Let's say if you can create wheels, like for luggage or for baby carriages. Okay. And whether it, we have to really look at those products that are needed in regards to COVID in the health industry. There are several products that are out there that are needed in regards to that. And Andrew, why don't you chime in as well?
Yeah,
Do
I
you
mean,
remember
I'll just
some of those?
just to elaborate a little on the example of wheels. It's pretty mind blowing. I mean, because we never think about these things, right?
I
It's
know.
pretty mind blowing if you actually go into whatever store you can imagine to buy something that has wheels on it, whether it's luggage or a baby carriage or a baby stroller. I found it mind blowing that almost all those wheels are only made in China, or 99.9% of them are made in China. Now, that's probably high tech. Um, but bottom line is, they've been the ones doing it now for a couple of decades. Well, if I was a hungry entrepreneur somewhere outside of China, i.e., Mexico, where we have the capability to do it at the same price or better, even before talking about tariffs. You don't have to ship it across an ocean, right? I mean, it just sounds like it's ripe for someone to take a look at it. And if you only bite off 1% of that or 10% of that, you have a very nice, right? So the wheel example is just mind blowing. Um, China's gotten so expensive. I think we all, like a lot of us will remember when it seemed like all the clothing and everything, what they call cut and sew. Not everything, but from what we buy here in the United States, most of it moved to China. Well, now China's so expensive that Mexico, which was a powerhouse in clothing and cut and sew not that long ago, is cheaper.
Puebla.
Puebla was the
Funny,
textile place.
funny
Right.
you say it. My cousins live in Puebla. They're from Puebla, and they had a couple of maquilas for textile,
Well,
and
they need to be looking at,
they ended up shutting them down because they couldn't keep
maybe
up.
they need to reopen them.
Okay, Emilio, I'm glad you said that because let me just say, I've spoken to a company in New York and there are things that they want to make. And one of the materials that we're finding great difficulty with is think of your sneakers, that material kind of, okay, think of a computer bag, think of a tablet bag. All right, what is happening is that material, again, was like only in China. I couldn't find it anywhere in Mexico. And I have a lot of contacts. And now I was picking up the phone. I need you, Director of Economic Development, to go out and see what you can find. And I need you. And I was talking to the governor's offices, mayor's offices, and they couldn't find that material. So
Yeah,
that material that they use for computer bags is hard to find.
It's sort of like neoprene, right? Neopreno.
It is, oh, no, that's another one. Neoprene is the other one that we've been looking for. I've got someone in the health industry that needs that for his product, the neoprene. So if we could find anything close to it in Mexico, and I set up a meeting with the governor's office, their people flew here, met with the inventor, and they couldn't find it. But here's the other thing. When you're doing that, what happens is sometimes they only want you to utilize what they've got. And the idea here is we've got to get out there and help each other, whether you're in that same state or another state. We're
yeah.
going to have to go back and forth
I
and
find it
helping.
fascinating because if we think of companies that consider themselves U.S. only, they'll fight tooth and nail against their competitors here in the U.S. If I
Yeah.
think of companies in Mexico that think of themselves as Mexico only, they'll fight tooth and nail against other Mexican companies. Well, guys, start fighting tooth and nail for some of that business from China, because everyone's looking for another
Yeah.
source. They're tired of being dependent on that Chinese monopoly and then dealing with the COVID risk, dealing with the shipping times,
Yeah.
dealing with the political aspects, the tariffs. I mean, the time is ripe, and Mexico does this, as Josie said earlier, same or better quality, better price. I mean,
Yep.
it's ripe for the taking.
It really is.
So someone's going to move in there and take it.
Yeah. So, and I'm saying this is just some of the 100 products. And like I said, then there's other 500 other products. But the thing to consider is, oh, and by the way, Andrew, I think I have found someone for wheels. And he's an old friend of mine that was, well, he's kin to the Chedrauis. And he's an old friend of mine. So I'm probably going to talk to him next week. This week, I'm real crowded.
I mean, again, wheels sound sort of boring, but not from a business perspective. They're not.
Yeah, but what people don't understand is it's millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of business, because they don't want to go to China to go get the wheels. They want to be able to do that here. One of the other thing, Emilio, that we're looking at is reverse engineering. And in many instances, this is what's happening. I had one company order 20 bags of this company out of New York to see how they were making them, to see if they could make them the way they want to make them. Because it's hard to go to Mexico and find a company, a group, an organization, whether it's private or from the government, that already can say, hey, you need to go here, you need to go there, we've got this. There is not that which we it's difficult for him to do business in Mexico. You know, and that's why we're so busy, because there's no more Pro Mexico.
That's what I was.
So we're having to do a lot of the things that Pro Mexico used to do. Yeah. We're caught like right in the middle. We really are.
Yeah, you've got to be busier than ever. God. Yeah.
Oh, listen. Yeah, you have no idea. People want me to do all these things free for them, not understanding that, you know, I have to help my members first, and they're paying to be members. So, you know, I can't just do this for you free. I'm not, because I honor my commitment to my members to help them.
Oh, and it's serious business with real numbers. So, I mean, any entrepreneur understands that there's going to be some kind of cost associated with that.
I want to thank you, gentlemen. I think are we at that magical time?
Yes, but I think it's going to be one of those, Andrew, that we're going to have to do a part 2.
Yeah, I mean, this was fun. This was both, you know, just
eye-opening,
informative, fun. I mean, so many people have questions about Mexico, about USMCA. Oh, and for the listeners and viewers, if you're not familiar, Fox, we're not talking about the American News Network. We're talking about the ex-president of Mexico, Vicente Fox. So, yeah, this was just fascinating, and we got a little bit of everything, you know, old Texas history up to the latest on USMCA and China, etc.
Yeah,
this is great.
Well,
and Emilio, you got to share more stories in the future about this whole Peru business you had.
Those are painful stories.
Well,
Josie, thank you so much.
I'd like to hear about some other time. You know, whenever we're not on, you know, on the air, we're not on the air. We can always sit and chit chat. That's
sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Andrew, I have a question for you.
Sure.
So what inspired you to want to do a podcast?
Yeah, I had been on a podcast called DFW Speaks, which was great. That was much more general interest. Got too busy, and then Emilio, I gotta give Emilio credit. He really just the idea for Success Paradigm spoke to me. Was enticing. And it was just like, hey, let's just get it on the calendar and make it happen. Then we were actually about to. So really, it's something I had wanted to get back to. Emilio just came to me at the right right idea, right time with the right drive. So I've got to thank Emilio, or this
Mhm.
another year would have gone by before I'd gotten back to podcasting.
Hey, COVID also almost made
Yeah,
that
but
happen.
it is sort of, what we did. It gets, and actually, again, just to the whole core idea of the show, COVID hits. We were just about to sign a lease for a production space, for a podcasting recording studio space. COVID hits, and we're like, well, what do we do? Do we put it on hold? Do we wait a month? And we were both just like, you know what? Let's just do it with the Zoom and whatever tools are out there. See how it goes. And we're now up to, what is this? We're almost at 20
This is
interviews.
20. This is
Oh,
20.
great! Thank you, Josie. You're our number 20. Yeah.
Oh, hey, lucky me. This is my
Yeah.
lucky week. This is
Yeah.
my lucky week. Yeah,
So
I'm so
yeah, it was truly Emilio's idea. I'm the co-host. Happy to be so. And but yeah, the idea of success. And as soon as he said, we were trying to think of a name, and as soon as Emilio said Success Paradigm, I just said, go with that. That's it. Go with it.
yeah,
And we've been
yeah,
having
that's
a lot of
great.
fun, and
This is a
contributing and
happy
learning along the way. Yeah.
this that and I'm so glad that you found something to do that you enjoy as well as you,
Yeah.
Emilio. If there's anything that y'all can do to help other people, I think that is great. And as I stated from the beginning, that's what our life is really about: is what can we do for others to get them out there. But now I'm going to want to know more about your financial planning. And Andrew, I'm going to want you to come back
Yeah,
and
certainly.
do that presentation. It'll be more lengthy next time, as I stated
Well, that's
before.
better for me because I felt like I was running as fast as I could.
You were. You were.
Yeah.
But you know what, gentlemen, I'm so glad that I got to do the podcast this week because Wednesday is my birthday. I'm
Wow.
celebrating another.
Birthday.
Yeah,
birthday.
I'm
Awesome.
celebrating.
Felicidades.
Gracias, gracias.
Felicidades.
29 and holding.
Well, listen, Josie, we'll talk to you about doing part 2 with you, I guess January, February, early,
Yeah.
right after the holiday season, early next year.
Okay, that'd be
We'll-
great. That'll be
we'll-
great. And
Looking
more will be
forward to-
happening. More is happening right
Yeah.
now.
Looking forward to some
That's for
kind of
sure.
event where we can actually meet.
Yeah,
I'm
sooner
sure
the better.
We've been to many events at the same time, I'm sure. We just have never
Well,
crossed.
can I give a plug for something?
Of course.
Okay. Um, one of my friends has opened a restaurant. It's called Enrique Tomas. It is a concept out of Spain.
Oh, it's
You-
the Spaniard one that brings the ham?
Yes.
Yeah,
The ham
the
iberico.
jabugo.
Uh-huh.
Iberico.
I mean, really, really neat. They've got the legs out there, that you can see, and they
I was
shave.
wondering about him because I got the notice. My family's from Spain, so I'm part of the Casa de España. And I got the notice of them opening
Yeah.
just before COVID. I was like, oh man, did it survive? Did it not survive? Because I haven't heard anything about it.
It survived. It's doing great. Matter of fact, I'm going to help them. Matter
Hey,
of fact,
Andrew, we should do an event down there for your
Yeah, we should talk to them. Where is it, Josie?
well, it's on 75 and Knox. As a matter of fact,
Okay.
Emilio,
Yes. Oh, you got frozen. No.
Let's just give it a
That's-
second.
That's what we call a cliffhanger.
Let's give it a second. If not, we'll have to get the info from Josie. We can post it on social media so everyone who's interested can check it out.
I hear her.
help you in
There we
regards
go.
to
Sorry, Josie, you froze up just as you said, Emilio. You froze up. So if you can,
not here. That's just kind of a rhetorical question. The bottom line is Thursday I'm going to be out there, and I'm going to be talking to the owner, and so I'm taking the one of the directors of the Dallas Cowboys over there, so that they can
Nice.
help promote.
Oh yeah,
That, and then,
that's smart.
Yeah.
That fits.
because one of the, oh, and you heard me, one of the Dallas Cowboys' brother is a regional board member of mine.
Okay.
So he's going to be out there. We're going to be out there. And then I'm going to help them with a grand opening. We're going to be doing a grand opening. So we'll put you on, we're being very particular in regards to this because we have to be careful and we don't quite know how the numbers are going to be. So we're going to look at when's going to be the best time to do this. But no,
Yeah, of
he's
course.
doing good. They're doing very, very well. Very well.
Very good.
Good. Yeah, I've actually been to the one they have in Monterrey,
Oh, really?
Mexico. Yeah,
I think he may have that license as well.
I think he does.
Yeah.
I thought he had it for like all of North America or something.
He does. He
But I
does.
haven't been to the one here in Dallas, and there's one in. I think they have one in Miami too. They've got a.
No, not yet. They're
Oh,
going.
not yet. Okay.
They're going to.
Okay, they're going
They're
to.
going to do one in Miami.
All right.
So he's a great guy.
Yeah, they're very entrepreneurial.
They are. They're also the mezcal business, you know, besides the restaurant business.
All right. Well, we can share that on social media as well.
You're looking for a place to have your mixer event.
Okay. When do you want to do a mixer?
Let's do it in January. I don't do one in December's the only month we don't do Latin America happy hour just because there's too many Christmas, and other year-end events. So
How many people
January.
normally go?
It could be from 10. I mean, the maximum we've had is about 60, but it's typically more like 10 to 20.
Yeah.
I'd say around 20. What would you say, Emilio?
Winter is normally about 20, I'd say.
Yeah,
Okay.
obviously. Yeah, I'd say winter 20 and then.
Okay, I'll tell you what.
40.
I will talk to him, and I will see how he can help y'all in some way in regards to that.
All right.
All right.
Very cool.
Fantastic. Thank
Okay.
you, Josie.
You're welcome.
All right. Well,
Gracias, Emilio. Ciao, everyone.
everyone,
Un
Thank you for
abrazo.
listening.
Un
Un abrazo.
para todos. Un abrazo. Un abrazo.
this has
Bye,
been
Emilio. It was a
Bye.
pleasure. It was a pleasure, Emilio.
Same here, Josie. I look forward to meeting you in person somewhere. So we'll
Same
be in
here.
touch. Okay.
We'll
Thank
do
you
it
for
soon.
listening.
Andrew, you plan it and we'll
Yeah,
get
I'll
together.
coordinate it. We'll get it to happen.
Okay.
Of course.
Sounds
Got
good.
it. Bye
All right.
now.
Next
Good
week
night,
is
everyone.
good.
Listening to
Okay,
Success
bye.
Paradigms. This is Success Paradigms, Emilio Garcia and Mr. Andrew Barker. We'll see
Thank you,
next
everyone. Ciao.
Bye. Thank you.
week. Thank you.